So it is Saturday, and it's nice to get to the weekend and just feels different sometimes. Like I've got different stuff going on today, some chill time, but of course I've got the challenge. So March's fitness challenge. I'm really enjoying it. You know, I was talking to somebody about the rowing, and I never thought that I would get to the point whereby the rowing was something that I would get excited about doing. You know, no disrespect to any people that focus on purely rowing out there, but I've never seen the big appeal. And I feel like just these last few days of digging into March's challenge, do you know what? I get it. I'm feeling it. You'll probably see at the start of my vlog series videos, this is me. I would say, generally speaking, I'm quite a chilled, zen type of person. Quite relaxed, very easygoing. But you know what? When you see me at the end of the rowing, when I've done that, that is that super high energy frequency that I'm talking about. That's why that I know that I don't need caffeine in my life. I don't need that spike. So if I think now about removing caffeine from my diet, from my lifestyle, I'd probably say if I had caffeine before I did the rowing, I genuinely don't know how I would be. You know, I'd probably experience some of the things I've experienced in the past, where I'm just too highly stimulated, overly stimulated, and I get that natural high from the physical training that I do. I think where that derives from, in particular with the rowing, and why I felt it so much in yesterday's vlog series on YouTube, I'd probably say it's that rush that I get, because when I'm doing the pull-ups or when I'm doing the rings dips, there's a very methodical approach, very systematic, very routine-based approach, but a fundamental element of that is to keep the heart rate low, is to keep it reduced, because I'm doing muscular endurance training. So I'm lifting weights, so I'm lifting my body weight, whatever it may be, and I'm getting that systematic, rhythmic process on the go. So if you think when I'm doing the pull-ups, I'm on the bar doing the pull-ups weighted, then I'm off the bar, then I'm resting or hydrating or doing what I'm doing, and it's the same thing with the rings dips. I get up, I do my reps, complete a set, get down, rest for 30 seconds, hydrate, chalk up, whatever I need to do. But it's different with the rowing. The rowing, I get on the rower and I think, right, it's 5,000 meters, and I just keep going. There's no rest. I don't stop to drink. I don't stop to do any type of filming or anything like that. My hands are literally on the rowing bar. And I suppose the difference is that level of intensity for, say, what is it? Currently, it's around about 25 minutes, something like that, give or take. And that level of intensity, I suppose I'm not necessarily used to that. The way I train as an endurance athlete is predominantly muscular endurance training. So like if you say to most people now, oh, I know somebody, they're into endurance, invariably what they'll probably say is, oh, cyclist, runner, something like that. Obviously I'm not any of those. So the muscular endurance element comes from the fact that I'm performing movements such as the pull-ups for large volume. That's what I'm mainly known for, you know, doing the pull-ups. Large volumes of reps, large volumes of sets, blocks, milestones within a session, and I do that on a daily basis frequently. So it's a different type of training, should we say. I always like to say it's the Mo Farah and the Usain Bolt. So I'm getting those explosive calisthenics bodyweight movements in there, but I'm going for the distance. So yeah, it's different. So doing the rowing for me, I'm almost in a different realm at the moment, a different world. I suppose it's what it feels like to get the heart rate up there and keep it up there for a sustained period of time. I also know that there are people out there that this is their thing. So they will specialise in rowing or cycling, something where you're using something additional to your body. So runner, essentially it's the runner, they're running, There's no necessarily additional equipment. But if you're doing the rower, you know, the rower is the tool that you're using. If you are cycling, the bike is the tool that you're using, and that's going to get that heart rate going. So this is new territory. It's definitely new domain for me, and I feel a 100% newbie, 100% newbie. But you know, it's like I said to somebody yesterday. Starting something for the first time, but understanding why I'm doing it. So I know why I'm doing the rowing, and I've introduced it. I wanted to create a challenge for March, which was different, something different for me. So following the 100,000 pull-ups, obviously for 2023, in January it was predominantly a weighted pull-up exercise. We know that. February was the weighted pull-ups and the introduction of the rings dips, getting the volume up there. And for March, I just wanted to do something different, so I came up with a nice, catchy routine, which was the pull, push, row, pull, push, row. So the pull-ups, the rings dips, and the rowing. And that blend of the three, for me, I've got to say I'm enjoying it. Even though the pull-ups, the numbers for me have gone down. So 250 pull-ups is still, it's still a good volume to do. And of course, I'm adding the weight in there. But normally I'm used to doing much larger volumes of pull-ups. But getting the blend in there, getting the pull-ups, so the pull movement, getting the ring dips, the push movement, adding weight to both exercises, and then getting in the indoor rows and the rowing. Yeah, definitely. It's a nice finisher as well, and it works for me. Looking back on my data so far, even though I'm right at the start of the challenge, doing the pull, push, row, it seems to work because I get the pull movement at the beginning from the pull-ups. Then I almost get that rest or relax, if you will, even though it's not technically because I'm training. I'm doing the push movement, the ring dips, and then going into the pull again for the rows. So pull, push, row, but it's like pull, push, pull, almost. So yeah, it's feeling good. It is feeling really good, and it's opened up different conversations with different people who focus more on the types of endurance, such as running, cycling, indoor rowing, outdoor rowing, that type of thing. Anything where it's more focused on that side of the training, i.e. The wind just caught up then. I thought my hat was going to blow off. I went to save it. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying it. Genuinely interested in your questions. So I'm going to give you as much let me start that again. I'm going to give you as much insight, or as many insights as I possibly can do, about what it's like for me to almost be a newbie introducing this new movement into my regime. I'd say one of the biggest things is, I'd probably say my breathing. At the moment, I've not quite found my flow with the breathing in terms of the rowing. So that's why I've introduced the bit where I'm closing my eyes while doing the indoor rowing. Because by closing my eyes, my senses change because there's no sight, so there's no sensory for the sight because my eyes are closed. So then I'm listening more, and I'm focusing more on my breathing. So that level of focus, that level of deep focus and concentration, hopefully I'm trying to find that rhythmic flow, because at the moment it's 5,000 meters, and that's a focus. But I want to try and get that time frame down if I can do. So I'm excited. Shall we get on with today's focus, today's session? So it's going to be 250 pull-ups with a 7.5 kilogram weight, and 250 ring dips. Oh yeah, I forgot. I've increased it, as you know, from yesterday. I've gone to the 5 kilogram weight. Absolutely game changer. I'm glad that I've done that. I can feel that extra. I can feel that extra weight. I've technically doubled it, and I'm glad that I've made that move. So I'll be interested to see how that goes today. So that's going to be 250 ring dips with a 5 kilogram weight, and of course the 5,000 indoor meters rowed. So let's get to it. Here I am. He's got his happy chops on. He's excited. Third person Pip. Okay, let's get the first pull-ups in there together. You know what? I love it when it's sunny and fresh. Days like today, amazing, honestly. Just brings out those beautiful, happy hormones, so you feel good. Yeah, whenever I first get into the pull-ups initially, it's just warming up. It's just getting everything moving around. Probably kicks in around about 75 pull-ups, something like that. But I'll be doing more than that, so I will get there in the end. But the early stages, tips I would give is when you first get on the bar, just be very conscious about hand placement, hip tilt, breath work. There's different things going on, of course, but the early stages matter because it's going for the distance. As time goes on, I'll get more warmed up, but it's important the first things that I do set the precedence for today's training session. But of course, it's always one pull-up at a time. Focus on that one pull-up. All of those precision techniques that go into that one pull-up, own it, and then repeat it. Amplify it, get the numbers up. Beautiful work. Okay, I'm going to get on with some reading. I'll see you soon. So the importance of rest in between sets, why I measure it and manage it, is because it keeps that rhythm, that flow, that level of discipline. Because if I don't measure my rest times in between sets, in between blocks, then I could just get into conversations with people and do different things, and it's harder to measure and manage my performance. Plus also because I'm doing such large volumes of movements, whether that's pull-ups, rings, dips, whatever it is, then I've got to factor that into my day because there are only 24 hours in the day. I can't squeeze any more than 24 hours, but what I can do is I can incorporate my fitness lifestyle, my fitness regime into those 24 hours. So listen, every second counts. Okay, that's a pull-ups done. 250 weight pull-ups, 7.5 kg weight. Okay, onto the ring steps. Okay, ring steps done. Onto the rowing. Okay, that's it done. Wow, what an intense session there. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to give you feedback right off the bat of that. So first of all, I don't think I've drunk enough today, water-wise, or should I say, I'm not as hydrated as I think. My tongue is like a little piece of crispy fried bacon that's been cooked and then left out on the side with no moisture in it. Right, feedback-wise, moving the hands around and doing the moving the hands around the bar when I'm doing the pulls intermittently to deal with the moisture that's building up. That's definitely helping, 100%. So I'm keeping that in there. Wearing the sleeves, that's helping, or should I say I'm keeping them in there. The truth is, I don't know whether they are helping as much as I think they would do, but there's some science definitely behind the fact that compression sleeves help with blood flow. That's why compression products are used all around the world with athletes, non-athletes, etc. So there is definitely something in the science behind it. The difference is I couldn't say to you right now, because I'm wearing them, it's improving my performance. Whereas if I took them off, it might be the same. I don't know, but I've started with these on, so I'm going to keep with it for the remainder of March's challenge. I need to improve my my rhythm, my flow. So I'm focusing. I'm just switching hands. I'm focusing on the wattage in the bottom right hand corner, so the watts. And I kind of got in my head I want to stay around about 120. In some cases it's going above that. In some cases it's dropping below that. So I'm trying different things so I can measure and manage where I'm at to try and keep myself focused. But the main benefit, or the main tool that I've done, is closing my eyes whilst doing the indoor rows, and it's getting easier for me. It is a bit weird at first when I'm doing it for such a long period of time, because what happens is my brain starts to almost become agitated in the sense of like, what's going on? I can feel that amygdala part of the brain thinking, right, I want to just check everything's going all right, Phil's not going to fall over, all that sort of stuff. My brain's doing what it should be doing, essentially. But what I'm trying to do is create that calmness, that calm feeling. So I'm really trying to go introspective with that, focus on the breathing, the breath work, connect with myself. So I'm not too focused on the digits in front of me, the digital numbers, chasing those numbers as a motivating factor, per se. I'm just trying to exist and live in that moment. By doing that, I'm focusing on the breath work. And by doing that, it means that my sensory, so my hearing, becomes more astute, because of course my eyes are closed. So I'm closing off one sensory. It's going to amplify the sensory on things like my smell, my touch, my taste, my hearing, all that sort of stuff. Has that helped closing the eyes while doing it? Yeah, definitely it has, I would say. Looking at the screen intermittently is also a motivator, because it gets me looking at when I've done like 500 meters, 1,000 meters, and then 1,500 meters, and then when I've done 2,500 meters, you know, in my head I'm going, right, I'm 50% of the way through there, and that's a good feeling. So I do celebratory wins in my head. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. So you're now 50% past. Keep this going. So then I move into self-coaching, self-motivating myself through positive self-talk of actually what's happening in that moment, and I maintain that. Sometimes I sink into gratitude. So I will say, I'm grateful to be at this moment right now. I'm grateful to have surpassed 50% of today's challenge so far in terms of the indoor rows. Keep going, that type of thing. So I sink into positive psychology, because that works, it makes me feel good. But the truth is, focusing on the breathing, focusing on the breath work, it calms down any thoughts that are whipping around my brain. So I'll give you an example. So I was doing the rowing before, and when I was doing it, somebody walked past and they let onto me. It's just like that nod, and I let onto them, and immediately, in like microseconds, I thought about the last time I got together with that person. We had a coffee, we had a chat, we did this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. That all happens. Now, I'm not able to control those thoughts happening, they just happen. But I can manage those thoughts. I can manage them, and I've got tools in my box to do that. So those mental tools, those mind tools. So when that happened immediately, do you know what I did? I closed my eyes after I've let onto that person, and then I refocus on my breath. Excuse me. I refocused on my breath, my breathing, and I got into that state of flow, that flow state, that focus state, that rhythmic state, where the only thing that matters in that moment is the fact that I'm breathing. So my arms just end up pulling. So I'm there, I'm rowing, I'm doing the rowing, and I'm not even thinking about it, I'm not even mindful. It just becomes second nature to me because I'm focused on the breath work, getting that rhythm, getting that flow, and I'm moving my legs are moving forward, back at the hips. So yeah, listen, today overall has been an immense session. I feel like my indoor rowing is definitely improving. As I say, we're going to check out the data at the beginning of March's challenge and at the end of March's challenge and see where I'm at with that. It's practice. It's a new movement. It's practice for me. It's practice. It's patience. It's persistence. It's discipline. It's routine. It's commitment, and it's showing up for me, because you know what? There is no one else that is going to do my challenge. This challenge now, I'm doing this challenge, so I've got to be in this challenge to do it. I'm not doing it with teammates. This is my solo pursuit, my solo challenge right now. So all I can do is focus on the elements that I can control, showing up, putting all those contributing factors into that, and I've done that today. Right. I'm off. I've got a YouTube live shortly, and I don't want to let you down, so I'll be there for it. But whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world, have an absolutely incredible day. Own your day. You're an amazing person. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Thank you for staying with me on the journey. I'll see you soon.